I think what's really important to recognise is that education has a unique structure, and it certainly doesn't fit together in the same way that the other partners do. So really the way that education looks at the questions we're going to talk about today and how we implement those reforms is very different. And certainly in Wirral, we had to establish those senior level relationships at a very early stage. We realised that education couldn't come to the table alone. They needed help from the other three partners to do so in a really meaningful way. And in the early discussions with those senior leaders from across the other agencies, we started by mapping out existing contributions of education across the partnership, and we decided where we felt education could add the most value as a strategic and equal partner. And at a very early stage, something that was crucial was to build a nucleus of united champions, I think I called them at the time. And they were largely based on my connections from my time in school as a senior leader and as a DSL, a designated safeguarding lead. And this core group of people weren't there just to be present, they weren't there just to engage. They were also there to bring others along the journey with them and to have that positive influence and create a culture which was conducive to effective partnership working. And that group sat down and we thrashed out our first iteration of our vision, and that vision changed very quickly over those 12 months. And that was okay, because we were in that test and learn phase that we talk about so often now. And once we had that vision, we looked at what the desired impact of education being in that strategic position would be. And we worked backwards and started to plan our early actions, largely to gain some quick wins, I would call them. We really prioritised early engagement. So at the start of it, we didn't really have a sustainable model, but it was a necessary part of the journey to become a sustainable, strategic and equal partner. And I think prioritising that early engagement also generated the belief, the momentum, the changes that we wanted to put into place in order for education to sit at that strategic table. We also realised that actually in order for education to sit at that strategic table, we needed to educate them because they needed to know what the table looked like, and they didn't. And that's no criticism of anybody. If they've not been in that partnership in the way that the other partners have, how would they know what the core functions and structures of the safeguarding partnership was? So we embarked on a journey to educate not just designated safeguarding leads, but head teachers, safeguarding governors, frontline staff, geography teachers, and that is still very much an ongoing piece of work so that they know what their role is and what their influence is on the safeguarding partnership. And from there, we grew to a more pure education model. So we now have pure education, so education representatives from frontline staff, to chair committees, to sit on other partnership committees as the education representative. And we're working very, very hard now to look at the information flow, how we align our priorities. So organically, we've grown from becoming an education silo within the partnership, really, to involving the statutory partners in our committees and trying to align our priorities with those of the other committees and the partnership as well. So it's been a fantastic journey, but we've got so much more work to do, but we're certainly leading the way in the North West.